We need to. They changed the way you do it, so it just takes a second. I'm sorry.
Takes me a while.
I know that feeling.
Okay.
It all be on.
Oh. Why is it not?
What's that?
Jamie.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, now we're good. Okay, sorry about that.
Is you call the meeting?
Yes, 6:03.
To the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public participation, I guess you're it.
All right. Thank you. For the most part, I guess. At the last council meeting, once again, we pushed for and some of that ARPA money we use for congregate. I don't know what the situation is right now. It's their protocol and how one can do something, whatever.
I'll explain it all in a minute. Yeah.
And related to that, but not council meeting, the new bridge over the waterfall supposedly was, I know it was, going over the waterfall today. So it should be pretty soon that you can walk around once again. Feel secure.
Thank you. Approval of meeting minutes.
I motion to approve the meeting minutes from last meeting.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Staff report.
Okay.
You're on.
Yeah, thank you. We just met 2 weeks ago, but there's still a lot to talk about. We could probably meet every week and there'd be a lot to talk about. The nice thing that I really appreciate about that new bridge, besides the fact that it's safe and it looks nice, is that it's ADA compliant. So that's an important thing too. So for the program reports, I'll get to the nutrition ARPA thing in a minute because I think that's a separate agenda item. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about in the program report is I passed out a flyer. I think I passed them all out. Was the Newington Town Center Master Plan Study Input Sessions. The town over the summer hired a consultant to study the downtown area and how to reimagine it, develop it, make it user-friendly, whatever you want to call it. And that downtown area encompasses, if you think like going down Main Street from Cedar down to like where CVS is a little bit past that, then down Market Square, the Northwood Plaza, Best Market Plaza, depending on how long you lived in town. The Keeney manufacturing area, the back of Market Square, the senior high-rise apartments, and then up East Cedar Street, whichever part that is. It also encompasses the former Hartford Healthcare, the former Children's Hospital, and the up on the mountain, the Cedar Crest.
Didn't that go up for sale?
I don't know if Hartford, I'm kind of out of the loop on that now. If Hartford Healthcare is up for sale, Cedar Crest property will be going up for sale. The town had the right of first refusal for that, and I believe at this time they're not proceeding. But that doesn't mean I don't know. I'm not privy, unfortunately, to that stuff anymore. But yeah.
Strip of land where the cottages were beyond the Cedar is not a
Mhm.
hospital building itself. And, because of the nature of where it was, activity, and it would, they were not going to, they weren't going to give it to us. It was $1 million.
Mm.
But the cleanup and whatever, and not connected to the rest of the property that it is owned, where the state has granted is never been built on or anything, that it just wasn't feasible. We decided to turn that down. Part of that property also was, is in Weathersfield,
Yes.
and previously the Weathersfield Town Council turned down their first right to the section.
One side of the street's Weathersfield.
I don't know.
I heard that, yeah, well, regardless of who owns it, it's part of the study area for potential development in the future. So we chose, I was part of the staff group that chose this consultant, and one of the things that impressed me the most about them and the reason why we chose them is because they're heavy on the importance of public input on what folks want to see for the center of town. So they're doing a bunch of input sessions. I think they've kind of done informal ones at events like the Waterfall Festival. And they're gonna do some more specialized ones with like the senior housing and everything else, but they are gonna do a couple of them next week, kind of general, open to the public. We are hosting one here on Monday at 10 o'clock. I passed around flyers. We asked you to RSVP on there. I certainly won't turn anybody away. The only reason I'm asking for an RSVP is because we're offering snacks and I want to know how much to buy. But anybody's welcome to come. If you're not able to attend during the day, there's going to be a second session at Town Hall Monday night, same night, the 9th at 6:30 at the Town Hall. And they'll also put out more information in the future about future sessions, and there's ways you can go online to share your opinions. I believe a survey went out. So share your opinions. If you have an opinion on what you might envision for the town center, then, please do. I'm on the staff committee that is kind of guiding like who we speak to and, the types of input that we want and who we want input from. And I've been very vocal about getting input from the older population in Newington, especially the high-rise apartments are right in the middle of the scope of the project. So that's a given, but just generally anybody, any older adults or disabled adults in Newington, we want the input about what you'd like to see in our center. So this is just a study. It's not making any decisions or anything about any construction, but it's gathering info.
And you said a survey went out? How would it have gone out?
I don't know because I wasn't involved with that, but I could find out. I believe it's online. I'm not sure if it's closed or open. I think they're going to be doing more. They're fully involved in the gathering info or gathering opinion phase right now, and then they start the studies. So
Who's gathering?
it's the consultant who's doing it. Gosh, why am I forgetting? I hired them. I'll have to get you their info. We had an RFP process last summer. And we interviewed like 8 different companies, and this one was the best.
So with the.
Colliers, thank you. Councilman Neal's right, it's Colliers.
So this is with.
They're
the consultant.
right. They have a whole. We did like practice one with staff last week, with the town hall staff and the stakeholders last week, and basically they have different ways in which they get. It's very structured, so it's not just people up there talking about what they want. There's a good chance to give your input, but they have different ways where they ask certain questions to try to draw out what people are looking for, and they provide info about like different options or different types of things that they could potentially do and what you think about them, and they ask for your opinions. They ask us what we thought are the current like shortfalls and weaknesses were in the downtown, and some of the things that were brought up were like it's not cohesive, it's not really a destination. You don't go there to go shopping. You might go to like one restaurant or one store, but you're not hanging out, It's that type of thing. So that's how it is. It's an hour and a half. It's not going to drag on for all day. But there'll be other input opportunities as well. So if you feel it's important to give your input about the town center and what you'd like to see, then please come by. I know they're going to do a lot specifically with the current businesses there. I know they're reaching out to pretty much everybody who has a business there, the folks who live in the high rise, the folks who live in the Northwood apartments behind it, the surrounding neighborhoods. So they're doing a lot of outreach. That's part one. We had in the past 2 weeks a bunch of programs. We had our WISE program with CCSU. It was our last installment for this semester, but we'll do it again in the spring. We had a little treat. We have talked to the mayor every month, typically the third Wednesday of each month, but I guess the mayor's work schedules change. Sometimes it changes, but this month the town manager attended as well. So we got to talk to folks and hear input, and hopefully we can do that again. We had a presentation on Tales from Connecticut Aviation History, which is really kind of fun and something a little bit different. We had a class about creating an estate plan. And we've already started with our holiday programs. We already had a bunch of them right this week with a holiday ornament making class and a couple of other things coming up that I'll talk about a little bit more. We are working on our non-nutrition ARPA allowances. That's the $90,000 that we finally received after a year plus. We have to have that encumbered by December 31st. So Josie in our office has been working very hard. It's kind of the business person for us in getting all of our projects encumbered, and we'll be done with that by the end of the week. And then the projects we have until December 31st, 2026 to complete them, but in reality, they're mostly going to be completed well before that because we're eager to do them. That's going along very well. Josie's been working very hard on that.
Did we discuss or did we have any idea what the programs that the ARPA is gonna be used for?
Yes, this was all actually decided last September, like September of 2023. And then it went through a very arduous approval process that had to flow through the State Unit on Aging, the town council, and it did pass. I could resend what I did. I think I handed it out at the last meeting. Were you online at the last meeting?
I was on.
Okay, I'll email it to you. But it's been the commission talked about it several times. It had very specific uses. It had to be related to programming, and it had to be or facilities improvements, but only certain kinds of facility improvements. And it had to be related to improving health and well-being, particularly in relation to COVID. So some of them are COVID specific, like we're going to have a lot of free COVID tests that we're able to order with this funding for people to use. And then some of it's more about general health and well-being, like some upgrades to our fitness room, like the equipment that you approved a couple meetings ago. Take home fitness equipment, portable fitness equipment folks can take home and use, improvements to the garden that make them more accessible and allow more people to use that type of thing, but I'll send you everything.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, yep.
I have it if you want to look at
I
it.
might have an extra, you want it? I might have an extra. I don't think I do. No, mine's written out, but I'll send it to you too.
I think you wrote down any state secrets. Thank you.
No. And then the fitness equipment, the two recumbent machines that you authorized the purchase of a couple meetings ago, they'll arrive on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Will be installed on Tuesday, and then once we get that, I'll kind of measure and get the little plaque in memory of Patty Foley. And I'll order the one for the garden area that we're renaming for her at the same time, and then we'll figure out a way to honor her, and I'll let you know. I don't think she has any local family, unfortunately, but we can do something with the members, with the commission, you know, counselors, whomever wants to be there, and maybe we could put it online or something so people can see it.
Yeah.
She also belonged to my friend's group, the newly retired.
Women's,
Women
oh
group.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know about that?
Oh yes, yeah.
I'm the token.
Nice.
I'm
She's
token male.
she was involved with a lot of things, a lot. So when she passed away, almost her entire estate went to very generous donations to probably like 20 or 25 local organizations. So it was very generous of her. So I think that's it for programs. For nutrition, we just met 2 weeks ago, so nothing has changed in terms of any word from the state or federal government about funding. We've received
Get an answer from our.
no, and I have to find out if they ever said anything from the letter the council sent. The council sent them letters too. We received about $350 in additional cash donations over the past couple weeks. We established the purchase order for the ARPA funding with the town council. This is separate from the 90,000. The council allocated $75,000 of ARPA funding over the spring specific to nutrition. And just like the other ARPA funding, we have to encumber that by the end of this year. So we calculated what it would cost to cover 6 months of the Meals on Wheels cuts because we don't have any other option for those. We encumbered that for the community renewal team so that we can continue this CRT. I'm sorry, the Meals on Wheels deliveries. That was about 53,000 of the $75,000 allocated. The remaining funding was we ended up choosing specific vendors to purchase lunch from on the days where we don't have donations. And that includes Steve's Place, pizza place. Oh my God. Yeah, hold on, I can tell you exactly what it includes. So it includes,
That chicken place.
yep, Italian Gourmet, Public Market, Steve's Place, Elm Hill, Newington Pizza, and Veggie World. So local businesses. We have a small blanket purchase order for our credit card if we want to go somewhere outside of that, we want to change. We have Sam's Club so that we can purchase like the other things that go with lunches. And we actually just entered into an agreement with a place called Hemingway's. They are the Board of Ed's fruit and milk vendor. So they are able to provide our fruit and milk at a much reduced cost. It's like 30 cents per carton for milk. I'm waiting on the fruit prices, but they're like a fraction of what they are at the grocery store, even like Sam's Club. So we allocate them into that. So all of the ARPA funding that the council allocated to us, $75,000, has been encumbered. So now we just spend it over the next 2 years. So hopefully Janet will be happy about that and she'll update the council accordingly. So we're all set there. So besides working with the Board of Ed's vendor for fruit and milk, I'm reaching out to the culinary teacher at the high school and to see if they'd be willing to make some lunches for us as well. And we're thinking about going to like Restaurant Depot or something along those lines, to purchase supplies for that. And we would buy the supplies and they could prepare the food for us. That only works during the school year, but it's something that we can kind of do like an intergenerational thing there. And they do a really good job.
Jamie, Barbara, I talked to Barbara about this. She mentioned that the town belongs to like Restaurant Depot, you have to belong to, you have to be a
Yes.
restaurant.
Yes.
But the town belongs to another food supply group that I forgot, it starts with W. And I think the Parks and Rec uses them.
Okay.
But it's another thing like.
Well, we're
Restaurant
looking into
Depot.
all of our options. So if she knows about it, she's probably looking into it, but I'll double check with her. But
And
so far, we've entered into that agreement with that vendor. And we're looking at like the Restaurant Depot and all the other kind of bulk places that we can purchase food from.
And I talked to her about like crock pots and stuff, and I told her she was gonna have Josie check, because like even there's still a lot of Amazon good sales on some big crock pots.
We can do certain things in crock pots, like the meatballs and things like that. We just can't cook anything from scratch. So we can't like make a chicken dish, like with raw chicken and start it. We have to do some stuff that's already cooked.
But I mentioned too, like also about getting, I know the stove there, forget it, it's probably. We could turn it on, but it's gonna need an overhaul.
Nope, it is fully operational. It's just shut off and the gas is shut off, so nobody accidentally turns it on and burns it down. It's just, we don't have a food license to cook things like that. That's why we don't use it.
But we could get like one of those electric little ovens,
Mhm.
not little, but oven that you can put
Mhm.
things in.
Yeah, those are all options for sure. We're looking at like everything that gets tossed our way, every possible option to see
Oh,
how
I
we could be as
know.
cost efficient and effective with the funding that we have. We are one of the very few centers that's able to do this without charging members for lunch, like for extra for lunch. We're one of the very few. Most centers, if they were reduced to 2 or 3 days a week, they're serving 2 or 3 days a week. And then people, if they want to buy lunch on the other days, they can, or they're on their own. So we're really fortunate to be able to do that.
And it's been really good. It's actually the stuff that she's been coordinating
Mhm.
stuff. It's been really, really good stuff, and there's good feedback about it.
It's a lot of work.
It's a ton of work. It's a ton of work,
I
but
do it every day.
it's worthwhile. It's absolutely worthwhile. And hopefully it's not forever, which kind of brings me into my final 2 nutrition items. The first is right after the holidays when everything's less crazy, I'd really like to discuss fundraising ideas outside of the flyers and the calls that we're doing, like a fundraiser, like a golf tournament or a bingo, something. And if the commission would like to help with that, I would love your input either now or in the next month or so, even if we wanted to do a little subcommittee to come up with something that we can do as a fundraiser. I think that would be awesome. I could throw a couple of ideas out via email, or if you have any ideas, you could throw them out as well. But I'd like to create some sort of specific fundraiser, larger scale fundraiser that we can do.
As a suggestion, do you like maybe like a dinner and a dance or like a larger ticket?
Yeah,
a larger
absolutely.
amount Per ticket?
I think that'd be nice. Yeah. Yes, for sure. That's a good idea. I'm gonna write that. And then, like I said, we'll be focusing on fundraising in general, but let me just write this down. Another thing that I'm doing right after the holidays is I'm gonna start touring. I've been in contact with other senior centers since the beginning, but I'm really looking at what senior centers that are not affected by this, that don't utilize the federal funding, and CRT, what they're doing, touring a couple places, seeing what they do, what they can prepare, how they handle their nutrition so that we can permanently reduce our reliance on CRT. So that's coming up. I think that's it for nutrition and programs.
Okay. Old business. Budget update, did they start?
Yeah, our CIP requests are due early January and the budget requests are shortly after that. So as usual, minimal changes. We can't ask for any major increases to our budget. But I am working with IT and facilities on security and connectivity things that are budgetary items. Preferably not in our budget, but if we have to, this is the time to request it. But if it could be, be snuck into somebody else's budget, that's great too. Specifically areas where we don't have as much in the way of AV and Wi-Fi connectivity in this building, which isn't bad, but it's definitely better in some parts of the building than others. And then the bigger focus is on the security, which unfortunately is out of our budget now, but the town is doing more of an effort to kind of streamline that. So like we need security cameras, the library needs security cameras, the parks garages. So we're gonna kind of look at everything all together and doing it all at one. So those meetings are coming up in the next couple of weeks. And then I put my budget requests in, like we do every year.
Anything with the stage?
Well, no, for the stage, if you've been by there, the stage is cleared off except for the pickleball net and clean. And so we are using it as a stage. We're bringing in a jazz band, coming in a couple weeks, and we're gonna bring in more performances. And then eventually, maybe in the spring, I might even start looking around to see if we can get theater classes here where folks want to be in a performance or they want to learn about acting or dancing or something, we can do performances here
What
too.
about the curtains? Is that something we could pay for?
Curtains are fun.
They are fine?
Yeah,
I don't
there's no problem
remember.
with them.
I'm gonna go.
We have, go look, because the stage had been used for storage for so long. The curtains along the back and side wings of the stage had always been retracted, but they're fine. They're closed right now. I think we'll go double check. But they're fine. There's no issue. I mean, it'd be nice to have like the automatic ones. You press the button, but they're the ones with the pull strings and they're fine. They're in good shape.
And the lights, the lighting.
The lighting is decent. Yep. We maybe at some point want to update the lighting if that's something that we start really looking at, but the stage lights are fine. Yeah. It's actually, the stage is actually in really good shape for the fact that it hasn't been used for a stage in probably 10 years.
That's so crappy.
No,
so
I mean,
I need to
maybe,
look at-
maybe a budgetary thing might be refinishing the floor or something, it's scuffy wood, but it's okay. Mhm.
Good. So the interest on the SDC funds?
Yep, so that I mentioned the last meeting, as soon as finance is done closing their year end, which she said would be probably another week or so, then I'll have her split the funds like you approved a couple meetings ago. Keep half of it liquid, so we can use it for our day-to-day stuff and then invest the other half, which however we can.
So that'll get done at the end of the year?
Well, our fiscal year ends June 30th. And then finance goes through a several month process of closing out the year, which takes up a lot of their time. So they should be done with it in the next week or so, and then I'll ask her to go ahead and do that for us.
And the door counter.
As soon as I have an estimate, I'll tell you. That's gonna be a budgetary item, pretty sure, but I'll let you know.
Does that have to go to CIP? Is that expensive?
No, I would be, if it'd have to be more than $25,000 to go to CIP,
Oh.
and I can't imagine that. If it is, I wouldn't wanna spend that kind of money on it. My guess is probably gonna be more in that 6,000-ish or so range is my estimate, my guess.
You know how long I've been asking?
Years, as long as I've been here.
And as long as Diane was here. Some things never
I
change.
know.
New business, upcoming activities.
Yep, we have a lot coming up. I already mentioned the input sessions, but here at the center, we have our holiday jazz party, the program on the 13th. Bunch of seasonal holiday crafts, including a paint and sip tomorrow morning and various craft classes on the 12th and 17th. We have an informational session. We're partnering with the Central Connecticut Health District to offer a matter of balance class, which is you've done it, right? You've been involved. So that's the evidence-based 8-week program. We're partnering with the health district to do that this time. There's an info session if anybody who's interested in joining that on the 19th. If you're stressed out the holidays, we have a class on coping with holiday stress on the 12th. Pickleball clinic coming up on the 9th. On Friday, there's a sensory changes in aging program and a holiday music bingo that I'm hosting on the 20th, which is fun. It's like holiday songs and bingo combined with prizes and ugly sweaters, and it's a fun time. We are working on our winter programming, including the evidence-based programs. Our program coordinator, Barbara, was recently certified to be a Tai Chi Kwan, Moving for Better Balance instructor. That is also an evidence-based program that is a longer one. It's a bigger commitment. It goes for like 26 weeks and it's twice a week. And it really helps people overcome the fear of falling, and it teaches methods to increase your core strength and your balance, in addition to overcoming that fear of falling. And then next Thursday, the 12th, we have a nice couple, I don't know them, but Barbara met them, who's going to offer free gift wrapping at the senior center during our gift shop hours, which are 10 to 1. So you can come in and have your presents wrapped if you buy them at the gift shop, and they even said they'll bring stuff, if you bring stuff in from home to wrap, they'll wrap it too. They're bringing their own wrapping paper, their own supplies. They just want to come and wrap some presents, so we're really excited to have them.
So they're rough.
Yeah, it's good for them. So that's about it.
Building update.
Yes, I met with facilities last week regarding moving the exercise room into this room, and they were very much on board. For many reasons, better airflow, better layout. It's a little bit safer with the wider, we could spread the machines out more, even though this room isn't much bigger than the exercise room. The only work that we need to do would be to replace the flooring, which is a bonus anyway, because I want this flooring, this is the oldest carpet I think we have and needs to be replaced anyway. Replace it with the similar flooring that we have now, which is like the rubber flooring. And then just move one of the TVs in here so that people could see TV no matter which way they're facing. Facilities is getting an estimate on the flooring. They even said they might have some funding for it, which is even better. And then if we're able to do that, then we're gonna go ahead. If we don't have to wait for the budget season, then we're gonna go ahead and do that ASAP, move the exercise room in here. That room we have possible other uses for. It can be a smaller program room. I would love to create a volunteer office, something that we've wanted to do for a while, but didn't really have a space for. We also, one of our ARPA projects is for the equipment lending that I was talking about, the exercise equipment lending, yoga balls, hand weights, exercise bands. We can create that program space in there as well. So there's different ways we can use that space. So that's proceeding. And I'm waiting for maybe good news that we would have funding for that and not have to pay for the floor. But even then, it's a fairly low cost project anyway.
So then we would meet in that room. It would be big enough. for-
We could, or we can meet in the multi-purpose room or in the ceramics, or we can meet,
At the
we have a
south.
lot, we have several program rooms that are the size that we can use. Or we can meet in there if we wanted to. It's kind of a fishbowl in there. It's fine though. We're kind of in a cleaning phase right now. The windows were cleaned, the exterior windows were cleaned yesterday. They're gonna do the interior windows. They're going around painting all the windowsills, so they're bright and fresh. They do cleaning the floors and the carpets. And we have our final testing of the new generator will be next Tuesday morning early prior to the center opening, but so far so good, no issues.
Purchase requests, nothing.
The shed is on order that you approved a couple weeks ago,
Oh, good.
and looks like the exercise equipment will be here on Tuesday.
Determine next meeting date and agenda. So the next meeting date is January 1st, which is a holiday.
Let's not do that.
I don't think anyone wants to come on the first.
No.
But New Year's Eve party here will stay.
There we go. Ed, you just want to stay here anyway.
You just like to party.
Yeah. The 8th, right? And I know you may not be able to attend.
The 8th, I might be able to. I don't know. I could definitely attend by Zoom. I might have big, huge bandage around my neck, but
What do you commission think? The 8th, or do you want to try maybe more mid-month? To give you a little more time?
I think we need to kind of almost get close to schedule, like, and so I would vote for the 8th.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The 8th,
yeah. I think that's okay. And Maureen said that she would run the meeting if I wasn't
Okay.
here, so.
Perfect. I also had to put in, you had to submit with the town clerk's office your schedule of regular meetings for each year. So I did submit our first Wednesday of the month outside of January, of course. I just want to make sure that that's still a good day for everybody to meet. I mean, it seems we've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Nobody has anything major coming up on Wednesdays. Yeah, it is. Okay,
We
then I'll go
tried-
ahead and submit
we
that.
Tried to change it to lunchtime, so maybe we could get some seniors to
Mhm.
attend. But people work, so
work with them.
Right. So,
I don't know, maybe we could bring it back. I would love to have some seniors come to our meetings.
you can always hold a special meeting during the day too. It doesn't have to be our regular meeting. It can be a special meeting for whatever you want it to be. Discussions, ideas, updates.
In all the years I've been on the commission, I think there's only two that we had senior, not liaisons, but seniors come in and both were complaints.
Couple of dates, maybe 2 or 3 dates over the course of the year, instead of having it on a Wednesday night, have it.
Mhm.
If people are available.
Right.
You know, to have it on a certain day in the day or something like that.
And I know you all have better things to do, but you can also add a meeting. It doesn't even have to be in the place of a regular meeting. You can
That's
always
true.
add a special meeting too. Just,
So why
these
don't
are
we
all,
think about it? Maybe-
it's up, I'll do whatever you want.
I've always had the wish that we would get some seniors to come to the commission meetings.
She was mentioning, just like an update meeting, maybe if we did like, I don't know, every quarter or every half a year, just had an update meeting in general. There was an open meeting for anybody that wanted to tell the commission anything.
Yeah.
Just like a separate thing.
We used to do annual member meetings. They kind of went away during COVID and we haven't really brought them back. But that didn't involve the commission, it was just staff. But I would love to have the commission, maybe do it and we have the commission there too. We post it as a commission meeting and kind of combine both ideas.
Yeah, like an
Yeah.
annual buy-in.
Mhm.
Well, we could all think about it, but
Let me know if there's
that's
anything
my
that works for you.
Christmas wish.
It's up to you folks to schedule whatever you want and we'll make it happen.
I have
Yes,
open thing, yeah.
we're under new business, so it's new.
I was thinking what I wanted to do, and I'm willing to pay for it, is obviously maybe next week or something, have like buy some desserts, something that we could supplement the lunch the day that we don't do CRT.
Mhm.
And maybe have like desserts on the commissioners. And have maybe if someone wants to show up during 10 o'clock, so you can see like Meals on Wheels, you can see how the elves do their work and all the stuff that we do, so you know the back scenes that I talk about all the time, but you see it actually happening. And the public actually seeing some of us being on the commission maybe help serve that day even. What would your thoughts about that be?
I would be interested in that, as long as we're away and not in the hospital.
Do it before
But,
your.
yeah.
your surgery. Whatever you'd like. If you'd like to do that, we can arrange it. Just let me know when and what you want to do.
I mean, I'll be willing to pay for it. If someone wants to contribute, that's fine, whatever.
Ye-
And I
I,
could ask George, I talked to George just shortly, like I could go to Sam's with him and maybe get some dessert items or something with him someday.
the commission has a little bit of funding, like a couple $100 of funding left over from the volunteer dinner. We could take it out of that if you want to. You don't have,
And, are we on new business? Okay. You mentioned about commissioners staffing, about attendance. According to the commissioner's guidelines for this commission, there's a requirement on how many meetings someone has to attend, or else that person is supposed to be no longer on the committee. But how does that work? Because I know we have some, maybe an inactive person on
Council-
having that. Can we vote that person
No.
off, or how does that work?
Counselor Nagel can correct me if I'm wrong, because he probably knows better, but there's the council, I think would have to, so I have to do attendance twice a year. So from January through June and then July through December, it's always a set 6-month period. I have to say how many meetings each person attended or missed. If they miss more than a certain percentage, is it 30% or 40% of meetings?
Not quite.
I don't remember it's a,
It had to be like 50%.
no, it was something like 30 or 40%. If the council may vote to take that person off. It's not automatic and they may not wish to do that. I don't recall it happening very often, if ever, to be honest with you.
And then, because members of this council are approved or are nominated by whatever party they represent according to the representation, that it would automatically, if it was a Republican, then a Republican would replace it. If it was a Democrat.
Right.
If it was a holdover, it might change from one to the other because all your terms are not the same as elections.
Right.
As they come up, what party has the majority?
Because you mentioned about a great candidate.
Well, So the reports that I have to do, I just did it for the last period. Those go to the town clerk, and I believe the town clerk shares them. I don't know if he shares them with the town council, with the parties. I don't know where they go after I do it, except to the town clerk. So it's up to this, it's really nothing it's really not a appropriate thing for like a staff person to be doing or deciding. And I think it really is a party decision and town council decision. So it'd be up to them to proceed if they wish to, based on those reports.
Cause I remember you mentioned that person.
There was a former commissioner who was on the commission for a while until she moved out of town, and now she moved back into town, and she would definitely be interested in joining the commission. I urged her to reach out to her party. I don't know if she has, but again, I don't have any say in that. So hopefully, if she's interested, she's reached out.
She's wonderful.
She's in your group, right?
No, I don't.
Your retired group?
No, I don't. No, not my retired group, but I don't know what party she's part of. It might be
Someone else I was thinking.
I don't know, it might be a swap, maybe replacing her. With.
I'm not sure which party she's affiliated with, if any. I just urged her to I gave her the contact info for both and said, reach out, if you're interested.
On rare occasions, the commission's one party has taken someone that lost, that was Democrat, or Republican, replaced them on, and I believe either party is open to take someone who's considered independent to fill a position if they choose to do so.
Is there like? I mean, I don't know if this, the DTC, if they could take a Republican or an independent on, or it has to be only independent.
It usually doesn't work that way, but there have been some exceptions. If the person has been on, I don't want to mention names from the past because that's, but if there's a person who's, because the party changed numbers and their term was up, and they have some special expertise in that area that the commission has been relying on, it could make a request. And I know once that our party chose to keep that person on, even though they were officially in the party, so they have a role that there's special expertise, and I could be more specific about it.
I just feel this is an important commission, and we need commissioners that, are involved.
I assume both parties, and our party is always looking for people.
Yeah.
To get on the list, even if there was an opening or to consider if there is an opening. So, yeah,
Okay.
I would suggest that if Republican, that they go to
Their party.
whatever setup would be at the committee, the chair of the party to get their name in there, and so it can go officially through channels. That's a, for good or for evil, that's how government works. When it comes to elected appointments.
But it wouldn't stop somebody from coming to public participation,
Oh, correct.
Of course.
for that too.
Yeah.
And you can see, we're not real strict with the rules here. And I would let someone speak in the
Okay.
middle of a meeting if they had something to say.
Everyone has a voice.
Okay, anything else? No? No? You sure?
Oh, what's the story as far as the exterior of the building updates, the landscape, is that gonna be waiting till the spring?
Yeah. That's a spring project. It was supposed to be a project this past spring, and just,
We have
Never
no
made it
wa-
on-
There was no water really, if they planted stuff to take.
well, the drought didn't help, but it never really made it onto Park's schedule because of some issues over their own issues over there, but,
They
Yeah.
still have that lamp post lying on the ground.
yeah, I don't know what that's for. I asked and nobody answered, so I'll ask again. No, I don't expect there'd be any landscaping done until the spring.
Yeah. It won't take.
Is that something that the garden group could do?
Not really.
No?
No, it's more of a Parks thing.
I mean, even if we paid for it,
Possibly, I don't know that we have the volunteers. We have wonderful volunteer gardeners for the organic garden, but they're not necessarily like landscapers, you know what I mean? I think we need more like hardscaping stuff, like digging it out and starting grading it and starting fresh with like grass and drainage and all that, I think. Now, if we wanted to finish it with some flowers or bushes or things like that, then definitely we bring in the garden people for that.
Yeah, they
But it
chop
needs
all
like,
those
it needs like
bushes.
construction work, yeah.
I chopped those bushes near the generator and like that, like killed the weather a little bit.
They had to for security, just so you know. We could still make it prettier, but that was for that reason.
Oh, has everyone seen the Christmas tree?
Our pink tree, it's
The pink
beautiful.
tree.
It's
It is
beautiful.
incredible.
Down the hallway,
Yeah, it's
that woman spent all.
3 days.
Tuesday. I was here Tuesday, for the whole time I was here, she was. Every little detail, when I left, she was still putting the beads on and
Mhm.
whatever, she did a beautiful job.
It is.
Pretty, because it's pink and white.
Yeah, it's
Where is
beautiful.
it?
It's
It's
beautiful.
up near the welcome desk. Check it out. I think there's gotta be, I've never seen so many ornaments on a tree before. There's gotta be something on every single branch. It's amazing. She did a beautiful job. The rest of the decorations will go up this week. We're just see. Probably Friday afternoon when it slows down, we'll get them up.
That's it for me, folks.
Anyone else? No.
By Monday, I was asked, so I think the Historical Society is having a holiday open house. There was no meeting to sit through, and light refreshments, they try to have cookies and whatever that are related historically time periods, and they have a raffle and early time to, and then you can tour the house there, the official tours and so on.
So when is this?
President hasn't done that. It's been decorated.
Thanks. When is it?
It's this Sunday. Well, to 3 or 1 to 3. Yes, at the Kellogg Eddie House. Yes.
Is anyone going to this 5-Way Monday? I am. I'm here anyway.
I was going to, but I have to bring my dog to bed. I know my husband's home.
Oh, okay. I'll see him there.
Gonna be at any of these meetings?
I haven't heard from him. I don't know if he's involved or not, but I'd imagine he'll be at something. Yes, please do attend. I mean, it's not really a program with the senior center, but we definitely want to get, you know, as much input as possible from anybody.
Adjourn?
Motion to
Yes.
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
I am.